my cooking channel, Cooking with Tiffany Tee, and today we're cooking beef and broccoli. So we're going to get straight into the recipe because I don't like all that blabbering on. You want some? Can't get none. Instead, you can make your own from this recipe that I'm about to drop. Okay, as you can see, we're starting off with sizzle steak. Make sure it's the beef chuck thin slice kind. We are going to slice this into thin strips, but make sure it's still a little bit frozen so it could be easy to cut. If it's all the way thawed out, it might take you a little bit longer, but that's still fine too. So here I am, I'm slicing it up, and of course I had to speed up the video because I know y'all don't want to watch me cutting meat all day. So after you get done cutting all your meat should look this thin. Now, of course, I'm going to take my meat and I'm going to wash it with some water and some vinegar. Now, don't come on my page talk about, oh, you're not supposed to wash meat. Do what you want. I don't care. So I washed my meat and I patted it dry. Now we're going to get into the ingredients. Please use sea salt or regular salt. Do not use no Lawry's, no Cajun seasoning, none of that. Now we got our onion powder. Do not use measurements for this because it's seasoning to your liking. Now we added some garlic powder and we got our ground white pepper. It doesn't matter if you don't have this. You could use black pepper. That's fine. Now this requires a measurement. Use 1 tablespoon of baking soda. The baking soda is going to be a meat tenderizer along with 1/3 cup of water. This is also going to help your meat stay nice and moist. Now, you know, we got to mix it in. So we're going to mix all the ingredients that we put into our bowl, and we're going to mix it in until we don't see any more seasonings anymore. Now, after you're done mixing them in, now we're going to cover it and we're going to let it marinate for an hour, or you can let it marinate overnight. It doesn't matter. Okay, so now we're going to start on the sauce. So I use half a bottle of oyster sauce. Now you can use a little bit more. It doesn't matter because oyster sauce is good. Okay? Okay. As you can see, I barely wanted to stop pouring the bottle. That's how good oyster sauce is. But like I said, you get the memo. Okay, so now we're going to use 36 milliliters of sugar and we're going to pour that into our sauce. When making this sauce, please use step by step. Now we're going to pour 15 milliliters of soy sauce into our sauce. Next, we're going to use 15 milliliters of Hoisin Sauce. I'm trying to tell you guys, once you guys make this Chinese recipe, chef's kiss. Your family is going to be asking for you to make this at every occasion. Back to the recipe though. Okay, so we're going to use 5 milliliters of sesame oil. Make sure you use exactly 5 milliliters because this sesame oil is very strong. Not only is the sesame oil strong, so is white cooking wine. So we're only going to use 5 milliliters of cooking wine, unless you want to be feeling tipsy. Okay, so we got our minced garlic. This is what I'm going to use. You could use fresh. I don't care. Use it. I also added chopped ginger, but I forgot to show that part. Okay, so now we're going to add 1 1/2 cup of heated chicken broth. Not beef broth, not oodles and noodles juice, chicken broth. If you don't have chicken broth at home, use a chicken cube and boil some water. And there goes your heated chicken broth. Okay, so now we're going to let that marinate and let all them juices and the little spices and stuff marinate. So here I have a fresh carrot and I'm using my little, kitchen gadget, and your carrot should look thinly sliced. Okay, so after I've been letting my meat marinate in the refrigerator, now we're going to add 1/4 cup cornstarch. And we're going to mix that in until we don't see no more white stuff on the meat at all. Your meat should look like this. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil and we're going to mix that up real good. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and use my heated wok and I'm going to fry my minced garlic. Please keep an eye on it because it does burn really quickly. Okay, so now I'm adding my marinated steak, and I did add a little bit of cooking oil to the pot again because it did start sticking. Now I did add a lid on top and I put a paper towel in the hole so the steam could stay within the steak. And now that my steak is getting brown, I'm now going to add my vegetables in, but I'm only going to add my carrots because I like them more translucent, and I only have frozen broccoli, so I don't want my frozen broccoli to be too soggy. And before y'all be like, oh my gosh, she using frozen broccoli. Honey, I tell y'all all the time, well, this is my first YouTube video, but use what you got at home to make what you want. And now we're going to remove the meat from the pan. We're going to add the pan back onto the stove. Now we're going to add water. And we're going to boil the meat in the water so we could get all that extra excess oil, washed off. So now we're going to cover the meat until it comes to a boil. So like I said in the beginning, it could get all the extra excess grease and oil off the meat. Now this is where I'm going to add my frozen broccoli. Yes, I said frozen. If the Gordon Ramsays wasn't listening earlier, I said I don't have fresh broccoli and I use what I got at home to make what I want. And of course not, it doesn't take away from the flavor. It's bomb like it is. So now you see me removing the meat, the broccoli, and the carrots from the water. So once you get done that, we're going to put the pan back onto the stove again. I know this may look like a lot of steps, but it's worth it. So now we're going to add our sauce that we made earlier to the pan, and we're going to let that come to a boil on high heat. Make sure you still pay attention to it though. Now we're going to add our cornstarch slurry. If you don't know what that is, that's equal parts cornstarch, equal parts cold water. And you're going to add as you go. If you want it more thicker, then you add more cornstarch slurry. If you don't, then leave it how it is. It will thicken up when it's on the heat. So now I'm adding back the beef and broccoli. So now that we added the beef and broccoli back to the sauce that we made earlier, now we're going to stir that around a little bit and we're going to put the lid back on top and we're going to go ahead and let that sauce thicken up so it could get the consistency that I want. And here it is. Look how tender that meat is. It's just so tender. When y'all taste it, it's going to melt right in your mouth, like literally. It's that darn good. And here's my take on Chinese beef and broccoli. Damn, Gina, I did that. Thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe.